picture this. It's thousands of years ago. You've got wandering nomadic tribes who suddenly transform into these insanely wealthy, powerful kingdoms with massive iron-wielding armies. Now imagine having all of that. All that wealth, absolute power, and living in a dazzling royal palace, only to wake up one day and decide to just walk away from every single bit of it. Why on earth would a prince do that? I mean, what was happening in ancient India that completely flipped how people viewed the world? Well, that is the amazing ancient Indian mystery we're going to solve together in today's Explainer. Just a quick note before we really get going. This Explainer is produced by Waqas Ahmed Shah. He's an educator and an AI agents and automation builder for educators, traders, and startups based right in Karachi, Pakistan. All right, think of today's agenda as our treasure map. We'll cover the ancient Indian mystery, iron kings and priests, the big circle of life, epic tales, how a prince finds peace, and then wrap it all up with a quick recap. Let's get moving. Part 1. The Ancient Indian Mystery. Let's take a journey back in time. We're covering a massive stretch of time here, starting way back around 100 BC in the later Vedic period. Early settlers called the Aryans started moving further east into a super rich, fertile area called the Doab. That's just past modern-day Delhi. Over the next couple of hundred years, up to about 800 BC, we see the rise of these really powerful kings and highly influential priests. But then, by 500 BC, everything starts to shift. Brand new, giant ideas start taking shape. And right in the middle of this crazy, rapidly changing world, between 560 and 483 BC, a man named Gautama Buddha lives. So this is our roadmap for how a whole civilization transformed. Moving right along to Section 2. Iron, kings, and priests. Let's talk about building powerful kingdoms. Okay, so there was this dramatic shift in power. In the old tribal system, kings were actually chosen by tribal assemblies. Basically, everyday people had a say. But as the Aryans settled down in the Doab region, they learned how to forge iron. And iron meant stronger tools for farming and way tougher weapons for conquering land, all the way down to Bihar. Suddenly, they're building massive, wealthy kingdoms. And with bigger kingdoms, the rules completely changed. Kings were no longer chosen by the people. Instead, they were crowned by powerful priests called Brahmins. You see, the kings wanted to keep all that shiny new power in their own families, and they absolutely needed the Brahmins' official blessing to do it. Because of this little political team-up, the Brahmin priests became the absolute highest, most powerful caste in all of society. Oh, and here is a super cool fun fact for you. The ancient word Aryan actually translates to noble one. What's wild is that this word traveled across the ancient world and even influenced the name of the modern country of Iran. It literally means land of the Aryans. It really just goes to show how connected ancient history is to our modern map. Section 3, the big circle of life. Here's where new ideas really start taking root. So as these massive kingdoms grew and the old tribal ways completely broke apart, regular people started feeling pretty confused about their place in the world. They started looking for new answers and even started worshiping new gods like Vishnu and Rudra. And along with these new gods came some seriously mind-bending ideas. The first big one is called samsara. This is the profound belief that when a person dies, it's not the end of the story. Nope. Instead, their soul is reborn into another living thing. It forms this giant, continuous circle of life where humans, animals, and even gods are all connected in this endless loop of being born, living, dying, and being reborn again. Now, if you're stuck in this huge circle of rebirth, what exactly decides your next life? Well, that brings us to karma. Karma is the idea that the quality of your soul's next life depends entirely on how you behave right now. Think of it almost like a cosmic point system, right? The good actions, the kindness, and the duty you perform today directly build a better tomorrow for yourself. But bad actions, those are going to catch up to you in your next life. Basically, it meant everyone was suddenly very responsible for their own future. But what if you wanted out of the circle entirely? What if you were just tired of being reborn? That brings us to a concept called moksha. Moksha is ultimate freedom from this endless cycle of rebirth. It's essentially like finally graduating from the universe. People believed that by uniting their soul with the universal essence, called Brahmin, they could find ultimate peace. And to achieve this incredible goal, some people became what are known as ascetics. An ascetic is someone who chooses to give up all everyday comforts. We're talking no fancy clothes, no nice foods, no wealth. They lived super simply, focusing entirely on connecting with that universal essence. All right, Section 4. Epic Tales of Heroes. These are the legendary stories of ancient India. With all these huge kingdoms and complex new beliefs, people needed a way to share their history, their heroes, and their values. So they started telling epic stories. And I mean truly epic. Ranking at number 1 is the Mahabharata. Written down between 500 and 200 BC, it stands as the world's longest single poem. It's this gigantic, thrilling tale about a bitter struggle over land rights between two families in that rich Doab region. Alongside it was another famous story, the Ramayana, a beautiful tale about good finally triumphing over evil. Honestly, these epics were basically the blockbuster movies of the ancient world. Section 5. A Prince Finds Peace and the Rise of Buddhism. So, how does all of this connect back to our original mystery? Well, despite these amazing epic stories, a lot of people in society were actually quite unhappy. The evolving Hindu religion, with all its complex rules about samsara, karma, and moksha, just felt way too difficult for everyday people to fully grasp. And more importantly, people in the lower castes felt totally stuck. They were basically told their hard lives were just the result of their past karma. They wanted a religion that offered them hope right now. They wanted a path that rejected the strict, rigid caste system and threw out the absolute, unquestioned power of the Brahmin priests. They were incredibly hungry for a simpler, more compassionate way of living. And that brings us to the grand reveal of our mystery, Gautama Buddha. He was an Indian prince who literally had everything: immense wealth, a stunning palace, royal power, the whole shebang. But he looked outside his palace walls, saw the suffering of the regular people around him, and realized that all the gold in the world couldn't stop sadness, sickness, or the struggles of the caste system. So he made the brave choice to walk away from his royal life entirely. He became known as the Enlightened One because he taught a much simpler way to find ultimate peace and happiness. His teachings formed the foundation of Buddhism, a brand new religion that welcomed absolutely everyone, no matter their caste, and didn't rely on powerful priests at all. And that is exactly why it spread like wildfire among the people. Finally, Section 6, Recap and Final Thoughts. Let's put it all together real quick. Okay, let's lock in everything we've discovered on this incredible journey today. Step 1. The Aryans moved east into the Doab, discovered how to forge iron, and built massive, powerful kingdoms. Step 2. Because those new kings needed to be officially crowned, the Brahmin priest gained the absolute top spot in societal power. Step 3. As society drastically changed, people adopted new giant ideas like karma, samsara, and the ultimate goal of moksha to explain the universe. And finally, Step 4. Because that system felt too difficult and unfair for the lower classes, a prince named Buddha walked away from his wealth to offer a simpler, more hopeful path to peace that welcomed everyone. So I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. If you were an ancient king with all the wealth in the world at your fingertips, would you share your massive power with the priests just to keep your crown safe? Or would you find your own path, leaving it all behind like the Buddha did, to help others? History is just full of these amazing, world-changing choices. If you enjoyed solving this historical mystery today and learning how ancient India transformed, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow for more educational adventures into the past. We've got so much more amazing history to uncover together. See you next time.